Life can feel like a puzzle sometimes, especially when you're waiting for things to fall into place. Maybe you're wondering if the universe even hears your prayers, or if those little nudges you feel are leading you anywhere at all. Here's the story of Jim Carrey, the hilarious guy who made us laugh in Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber. Before he became the icon we know today, Jim was just a struggling actor trying to keep his dream alive during one of the toughest times of his life. His breakthrough wasn't luck. It wasn't some random Hollywood miracle. It was something much deeper, something we all have access to. The Christmas struggle that almost broke him. Picture this. It's the late 1980s, and Jim Carrey is living in Los Angeles, trying to break into Hollywood. Sounds glamorous, right? Except it wasn't. He was flat broke. He'd spend hours driving his old beat-up car up to Mulholland Drive, overlooking the city, wondering if he'd ever make it. Christmas was approaching, and instead of holiday cheer, Jim was drowning in doubt. He felt like he was doing everything right. He had the talent, the passion, but nothing was happening. Can you imagine how that must have felt? To be chasing something so big, only to feel like every door is closing in your face? But here's where Jim's story takes a turn. One night, while parked on Mulholland Drive in Los Angeles, he did something bold. He pulled out a blank check, wrote it out to himself for $10 million, and dated it for Thanksgiving 1995. 5 years into the future, and added a note for acting services rendered. Now let's be real for a second. Writing yourself a $10 million check when you can barely pay rent sounds a little bold, doesn't it? But Jim didn't stop there. He didn't just write that check and hope for the best. He carried it with him everywhere, like a promise to himself and to the universe. Every time he looked at it, it reminded him of where he wanted to be, even when the present felt like a mess. Jim didn't know how it was going to happen. He just knew he had to trust that the universe was working behind the scenes, even when nothing seemed to be happening on the surface. He started noticing signs, small things, like the way a casting director would mention his energy or how a rejection would lead him to meet someone new. He realized these weren't just coincidences. They were breadcrumbs, guiding him toward his breakthrough, the miracle that changed everything. Fast forward to 1994. Jim Carrey gets the call that changes his life. He lands the role in Dumb and Dumber, and guess what? His paycheck for the film was, wait for it, $10 million. Can you imagine holding on to that check for years, through all the struggles, and then one day, the exact thing you envisioned actually happens? It wasn't luck. It wasn't just hard work. It was Jim's ability to see the signs, trust the process, and take inspired action, even when the odds were stacked against him. What this means for you. Maybe there's something in your life right now that feels stuck. Maybe it's a dream you've been working toward for months or years. Maybe it's a feeling like you're meant for more, but you're not sure how to get there. What if the universe has been sending you signs all along, just like it did for Jim? What if the answers you're looking for aren't as far away as they seem? Maybe you had a moment where something unexpected happened, something that seemed small at first, but looking back, it felt like it was leading you somewhere. Those aren't random. Those are signs. How to recognize the signs. Life isn't always clear. Sometimes it feels like we're wandering through the fog, hoping for a miracle. But the universe is speaking to us. It's just that its language can be subtle. Here's what Jim did that we all can start doing right now. Jim visualized his future. He didn't just hope for success. He saw it, felt it, and believed it was already his. What does your dream look like? Close your eyes and picture it. Make it real in your mind, down to the smallest detail. Jim stayed open to opportunities. Not every opportunity will scream, "This is it." Sometimes they're small, like meeting someone new or hearing about a project you hadn't considered. Pay attention to those little nudges. Jim not only visualized and remained open to opportunities, but he also took inspired action. He didn't just wait for the universe to deliver. He auditioned, networked, and worked on his craft. What's one small step you can take toward your goal today? And finally, he trusted the timing. This might be the hardest part, but it's also the most important. Just because we don't see progress doesn't mean nothing's happening. Trust that the universe is working in our favor, even when it feels slow. your Christmas miracle. Christmas is the perfect time to open yourself up to the possibilities around you. It's a season of miracles, and manifestations are in the air, but miracles don't always come wrapped in a big red bow. Sometimes they come as a conversation, a feeling, or even a challenge that pushes you in a new direction. Jim Carrey didn't know what was ahead for him when he wrote that check. He just knew he couldn't give up. And because he trusted the signs and kept moving forward, he ended up with more than he ever imagined. So here's a question we can all ponder. What's your $10 million check? What's that thing you've been dreaming of? The thing that lights you up, even if it feels impossible right now? This Christmas, you can do something bold too. Write it down. Speak it out loud. And then start looking for the signs. They're there, that's for sure. The universe is always guiding you. You just have to be willing to see it. Because who knows? Maybe this will be the Christmas when your miracle begins.